Hey everyone, welcome back to Trade Sage. Let's look at today's Nifty charts. So tomorrow is Sensex expiry. So today's analysis is going to be important. So looking at today's Nifty chart, right? Uh, Today is again a good opportunity for option buyers to make some money today. I call it as a trending day, right? It's a bullish day. Again, crazy markets. There is no reason why yesterday there was a big fall, and there is no reason why the market recovered today, right? So again, I always say being an option buyer, it's pretty important. It's pretty important to look at the charts, look at the OI data, and then take the trading decisions. It doesn't matter what the long-term view of the market is, right? It's important, but then still, right? Have your trading decisions based on that day's charts as well as the OI data. Okay. So what does the chart say? Chart clearly says it's a bullish day today. Again, there is not even a chance for um, any sort of you know bearish trades today. Maybe someone could have tried at 24,000 because 24,000 again until market is below 24,000 will act as resistance. Once market is above 24,000, 24,000 will act as a bully, will act as a support, right? So someone could, actually try a bearish trade at 24,000, but then otherwise there is, literally no chance for any sort of bearish trades today, right? Um, I'll do one thing. Let's look at what the data said, right, throughout the day. Let's also look at some of the trades that I took, right? And we can also do some analysis for tomorrow's Sensex expiry. Okay. So looking at the data, right from the market start, uh, at the time of market start, there isn't much difference between call OI change and put OI change, right? It's pretty minimal. Okay. Um, until 10 a.m., it's I would say slightly bearish towards indicating bearishness, but from 10 onwards, it's call OI has been decreasing continuously, whereas put OI has been increasing continuously. Again, as I always say, there are three types of days, right? Bullish day, bearish day, or sideways. Okay. In today's day, if at all you've taken a bearish trade, or if at all you've bought a put option, hoping that market would go down, considering that till 10 a.m. the call away change was higher, I would say that by the time 10:30 or 10:45 comes up, you should definitely exit those put trades because market is clearly indicating bullishness, right? So never ever go against what the data says, right? So again, throughout the day, there is continuous bullishness in the market. Now, can imagine, right, at 1 p.m., it's 10 lakh versus 4.7 CR, right? So again, there is no scope for bearish trades today. That's the reality of today's market. Again, again, as I said, it's a good day to make decent profits being an option buyer. Okay. Um, Yeah, again, looking at the OI activity heat map, right? Uh, just for reference, what this page shows is it shows if there is any unusual OI activity that happened. Today, considering a non-expiry day, there are very few such anomalies in the OI data. But again, we got few hints at 10:15 p.m. So 10:15 a.m., indicating where the market is heading towards, right? There is some unusual OI activity in 23,950 PE. Again, that's a good indication that market today gonna stay about 23,950, right? Again, there is some um, an unusual OI activity happening at, strikes close to 24,000. Okay, good indication that markets are bullish today. VWAP signals, right? If you want to be profitable in today's market, these are some of the trades that you need to be to make some profits. Okay. Um, this is pretty important, right? Looking at the premium breakdowns, there is, the premium on the call side is higher than the premium on the put side. What this indicates is um, market is expecting that uh, it would go up, right? Usually, um, premium on the put side would be higher because market can go down easily, right? But over here, if you see, the premium on the call side is higher than when compared to the premium on the put side. This clearly indicates that market is expecting that it would go up, right? That's the expectation of the market today. But again, as I said, take intraday trades looking at that day's chart as well as the OI data. That's the best way to trade. Okay. But again, today's market view is slight bullishness in the market for tomorrow. Today I've made pretty modest profits, 400 rupees. This is my trade book. Okay. So I took my first trade at 10:37 a.m. Okay. Again, I've took since 6 trades today. So the reason why I took it trade at 10:37 is yeah. Yep. Since market has crossed this hurdle of 23,935, I was pretty sure that market is heading towards 24,000. Okay. So I took this trade at 10:37 a.m., right? Somewhere over here. Hoping that market would go up. Okay. And at that time, I was happened to go outside. Okay. So I've took this CE trade in Sensex. I've kept the target as 300. I've kept the stop loss as 180 and I went out. By the time I went out, I think this 77,000 CE was trading somewhere around 210. Okay. So I thought, there was a good buffer of 30 points as stop loss. So I've kept stop loss at 180 and target as 200. As you could see, the market hit the stop loss, and after hitting stop loss, it actually went till 230 or 240, something like that. Right. Then I took another trade at 11:45. It is at 11:45. Okay. So I took somewhere around here because market has breached 24,000. Okay. Since it breached 24,000, I was hoping that market would be heading somewhere around 24,100. That was my view at that time. So I entered a CE trade. But since it is, 24,000, as I said, since market is, as long as market is below 24,000 will act as a resistance. So there was good amount of consolidation that happened around 24,000. So, I had to take some loss. I entered a trade again at 12:19. Yeah, somewhere around here, right? So market went down. It is again trying to breach 24,000. So I thought, again, it's a good way to enter a profitable trade because my view is that market would be heading towards 24,100, right? But again, it took a dip again, right? So I waited till, 1 to somewhere around over here, right? So market breached 24,000 again. Then it took a support at 200 EMA, right? So I entered a trade again because all the indications are pointing towards bullishness, right? So I entered at 122, exited at 200, right? I again entered a trade at 25. What happened at 25? 2:05 p.m. Again over here, right? I was expecting market to take a support at 20 EMA, right? So I took a trade at 171. I kept the target as 200. It went till 199. But then, I was trailing the stop loss. So it hit my stop loss at 185. So that's my day today. Again, today it's all bullish trades. There is no scope for bearish, right? So coming to tomorrow's Sensex expiry, right? So let's look at the levels on the Nifty. And again, you can trade Sensex looking at the Nifty chart. Okay. So market is at a very critical levels, right? It's currently at 24,010 or 12, something like that. Even Sensex as well. Sensex is at 76,991. So it's pretty close to 77,000. Okay. So what's my view? Okay. I would say do not take a PE trade until market is below 23,965, and do not take a CE trade until market crosses this 24,050, right? So 24,050 and 23,967. Consider this as no trade zone. Let the market breach either of these levels, right? And whichever direction the market is moving, try to enter that direction, right? Either bullish or bearish, whatever it might be. Again, look at the charts, look at the OI data. Okay, so both should be in sync. Only then try to take a trade in that direction. The next resistance, if it is, if market is bullish and going up, the next resistance is going to be, somewhere around, 24, 140 till 170. This range is going to be a resistance zone, right? And coming to the support zones, I see 23,837 and 23, somewhere around 23,800. These are the support zones for the market. There can also be a support somewhere over here, right? 23,930 as well. So watch out for these, levels. Okay. Yeah. So that's it for today's market analysis. Again, TradeSage is a pretty important product. It helps you with understanding the OI data, right? Understanding where the big players are taking the bets, right? There is also a trading terminal, pretty simple trading terminal. You could trade Sensex and Nifty. It's pretty easy to place trades, right? Pretty easy to place trades, pretty easy to exit the trades, pretty easy to trail stop loss and target. So check out tradesage.co.in. All right. Thank you so much. Let's meet again tomorrow post Sensex expiry.